Hi and welcome to Woodland Power Products. In this video, we'll show you how to install the Cyclone Rake single pin conversion kit. Before we begin, let's verify you have everything you need. The single point hitch assembly box with hitch components and hardware, the wheel fork box, the hose hanger and wheel axle box, and the deck hose, if included, with your setup. Now, here's what you'll need from your toolbox: a couple of 1/2-inch wrenches or sockets, 2 9/16" wrenches or sockets, 2 3/4-inch wrenches or sockets, a 5/16" nut driver, 2 15/16" wrenches or sockets if you have dual wheels, a 1-inch wrench, a utility knife, and some cutting pliers. For this installation, we will first need to prepare your chassis. Carefully remove the engine unit. Caution, the engine unit is heavy. Get a helper if needed. Next, remove the collector unit. Now, let's begin with the chassis upside down. With the chassis upside down, start with one of the wheels and remove one of the quick release pins or one of the permanent bolts from a caster pad. Then slide out the wheel. Repeat on the other side. Next, remove the axle bolt from the wheel and wheel fork using the 2 3/4-inch wrenches. Or, if you have dual wheels, use the 2 15/16" wrenches. Then the axle tube that's inside the wheel assembly should slide right out. Repeat on the other wheel. At the other end of the chassis, we will need to remove both hitch forks. Using the 1/2-inch wrenches or sockets, remove the 4 bolts and nuts that hold the hitch forks onto the chassis. Please note, if you have a jack stand, you'll also need to remove the mounting tube and jack stand bracket. Now we'll install your new single pin components. First, open the box marked wheel forks to find the new wheel forks. Next, find and open the box labeled hose hanger and wheel axle to find the wheel axle. This box will also include the hose hanger and hammock. Just set them aside for now. We'll install them later. Once again, there are 2 ways to install your wheels: a quick release installation, if you're planning on removing your wheels when storing your Cyclone Rake, or a permanent installation if you want to keep your wheels always attached. Okay, let's start with the quick release option. Slip one of the wheel forks under the remaining bolt. Now, starting on the outside of the chassis, reinstall the quick release pin and secure it with a bow tie pin on the inside of the chassis. Repeat on the other side. Now, for the permanent installation, slip one of the wheel forks under the remaining bolt. Then, reinstall the other bolt and secure it with a nylon lock nut. Tighten the bolts using the 2 9/16" wrenches. Ensure that all of the fasteners are secure and properly tightened. Repeat on the other side. Now, let's install the wheels and axle. First, locate the bag of bow tie pins and washers. Now, install one washer and pin onto one end of the axle. Next, align both wheel forks so they lean toward the back of the chassis. Now, starting with either wheel fork, hold one of the single wheels or one of the dual wheels in the center of the wheel fork. Next, slide the axle through the outside of one of the wheel forks, through the center hub of the wheel or wheels, and out through to the opposite side of the wheel fork. Continue sliding the axle across, and when you get to the other side, hold the other wheel or wheels in the center of the wheel fork and continue to slide the axle through to the other side. Now you can install the other washer and bow tie pin into the open hole on the end of the axle. Your wheels are all set, but keep your chassis upside down to install your new single point hitch. Installing the single point hitch assembly. Locate the box labeled single point assembly. Inside, you'll find the single point assembly, the hardware, and the hex column. You'll also need the hose hanger you removed earlier from the hose hanger and wheel axle box. The tools you'll need are 2 half-inch box wrenches or sockets and a 1-inch wrench. With the chassis still upside down, lay the single point hitch on top of the narrow end of the chassis. Then insert 4 2.5-inch bolts with washers up from beneath the chassis and through the hitch. Secure each bolt with a washer and lock nut. Now, flip the chassis over onto the wheels. Next, locate the hex column and attach it to the middle hole of the single point bracket using 1/3/8 by 1-inch bolt, lock, washer, and washer. Please note, the other 2 holes in the hitch bracket are available if you need to adjust the way the hose hanger supports the hose. Now you can roll your Cyclone Rake up to your mower and attach the single point assembly to your mower's existing hitch. Finally, place the hose hanger into the hex column. Now you can reinstall your collector unit and engine blower unit. Remember, the engine is heavy, so get a friend to help if needed. Installing your new deck hose with the rubber collar or mower deck adapter. Remove the rubber collar and the blower inlet collar from your old hose. Then, reconnect the blower inlet collar onto the blower intake opening and secure it with the 2 latches. Now insert the deck hose into the collar, twisting it in a counterclockwise direction until it stops. Next, pull the rubber collar over the other end of the deck hose and secure using one of the band clamps provided. Then loosely slip the other band clamp onto your grass catcher boot and then install the rubber collar and deck hose over the boot. Now pull the band clamp over the rubber collar and tighten to secure. If you have a mower deck adapter, insert the MDA collar into the other end of the deck hose and secure it using the bridge-type band clamp. Then, connect the MDA collar to your MDA and secure it with the latches. Checking the hose length. Let's check to see if your hose is at the optimal length for your mower. For some mowers, the deck hose you received may be too long. With the deck hose attached to the blower and the mower deck, turn your mower all the way to the left. This will determine the hose length needed. The hose should not be sagging or touching the ground. If it is, you will want to shorten it. Shortening the mower deck hose, if needed. The tools you'll need for shortening the deck hose are a utility knife and a pair of cutting pliers. First, let's make sure you have screwed the hose as far as it can go into the blower inlet collar. Unhook the inlet collar from the blower and twist the hose into the collar as far as it can go. Then reattach the collar to the blower. If this shortens the hose enough, you are done. However, if it's still too long, here is the best way to shorten it. Caution: cut off only a few inches at a time, so you don't shorten the hose too much. First, remove the blower inlet collar from the blower and then unscrew and remove the hose. Then, reattach the collar back onto the blower. Next, stretch the hose over the blower unit until the hose is off the ground. Now, look down at the blower collar and mark the hose where it lines up just past the threads of the collar. This is the amount of hose needed to be cut off. Next, puncture through the hose webbing with the utility knife. Carefully slit the web until you meet your cut on the other side. Nick the reinforcing rib between the two ends of the cut using your knife and complete the cut with the cutting pliers. Next, remove the blower inlet collar from the blower housing. Then screw the blower collar back onto the hose and attach it back onto the blower. Now you can straighten out the tractor. Installing the hose hammock. To give your hose some extra support when taking turns, we've included a hose hammock. You won't need any tools to install it. Open the pouch and unfold the hammock. First, wrap the two shorter straps around the hose, adjust their length if needed, and secure both buckles. Keep the straps slightly loose so you can slide the hammock into the best position to support the hose. Next, lift the long center straps and attach them to the hose hanger with the clip. Lastly, slide the hammock along the hose until it's in a good spot to support the hose. Then tighten the shorter straps to ensure a secure fit. Congratulations! You've finished installing your new CR single conversion kit. If you encounter any difficulties during installation or have questions, you can always reach us at 888-531-7253. Or, even better, you can schedule a time for us to contact you. Just visit cyclonerake.com/contact us